Hello, and welcome to Handled Ish Productivity for the Imperfect, a weekly podcast for those who want to elevate their productivity but are not looking for perfection. I'm your host, Betsy Hayes, and I'm really happy you're here with me in podcast land or on YouTube. This is episode 48, and this is about scheduling regular times with friends. Now, I don't know about you, but I really love my friends and I wish I could see most of them more than I do. And in talking to folks and reading things, especially as adults, I think a lot of us are in that same boat. Even if, we're not in the crazy town raising kids phases, it's still sometimes really difficult to see the people that you really care about on a regular basis. And so something that I'm going to be working on and have had some success with over the last couple of years, and something I want to encourage you to do is to have regular times that you connect with your friends. And that may sound not spontaneous or anything like that. And you're absolutely right, it's true. But the whole goal here, remember, is to see your friends more often. And I think having a regular thing that doesn't need a lot of conversation or planning is the best way to see your friends on a regular basis. That's why, I love my book club, right? Because there are people I care about, and I know every couple of months we're going to get together. Sometimes it ends up being a 6 week period. Sometimes it's a 10 or 12 week period in between. But we know that on a fairly regular basis, we will have book club and it'll be wonderful and we will get to see each other. It is way more about the companionship and the friendship than it is about the book. I have a regular happy hour on Friday evenings that's been going on for, gosh, almost 2 years now. Actually, I think it was going on before I joined, but we won't talk about that. And we meet at the same place at the same time, the same people, plus or minus, depending what's going on, and we don't even have to talk about it. Right? We just know to show up. If for some reason we're not, then we let people know. Otherwise, it's just a good time. And again, it's not about, the beverages or the snacks. It's about, getting together on a regular basis with people that I am so happy that they are in my life. If your friends are out of town, a regular weekend or two a year, the first weekend in November or the second, Sunday in February or whatever. I have some best friends that I've known since, gosh, one of them I've known since we were four. And the other two I met in junior high, and we're incredibly close, and we have the most wonderful group chat, and we are so supportive of each other, and we get together when we can. But I'm really going to pitch them this year. So if they're listening, here's a heads up. I really want to pick like a couple of weekends a year that we just sort of commit to getting together. And if it ends up that only 3 out of the 4 are able to do it, we just still do it. But at least there's something kind of loosely on the calendar that we can build our visits around. Because everyone is very busy with their families, and especially since we don't live in the same place, even though we're all in the same state, I think that might be something that's really helpful. And I'm looking forward to that. Zoom video calls can also help if you just really can't get together in person. I think I mentioned I have a weekly Zoom with both of my daughters on different days. And, again, it has to be moved around sometimes. And sometimes, it doesn't happen. But for the most part, I know that I'm going to have some very wonderful time with them on a weekly basis that I really look forward to. And I think that I hope they look forward to it too. But just seeing someone is just a whole different deal than talking to them on the phone or texting. I know we can't do this for all the humans in our life, but it's something to really think about. With my trying to do my 55 coffees, my coffee quest for my 55th year. And now that I'm going to be back on campus next semester, I'm going to be looking for a couple of slots that I'm just going to regularly put in my calendar to try to book additional coffees so I can make my goal of having 55 by the end of the year. And again, having these regular slots that may or may not work, but at least that's the start of making it work just goes such a long way because we have all had those back and forth texts and emails and all you just ugh. And a couple of weeks ago I did a podcast about only plan once. This actually really sinks in with that particular philosophy because if you have it on the calendar already, there is very little planning that has to be done. Same thing with locations. If you always meet at a certain restaurant or a certain park or a certain hotel, again, very little thinking has to be done, and it happens more frequently. That's not to say that you can't mix it up for every once in a while. My friends and I do that when it's everybody's birthday. We go to a different restaurant that is not the place we meet every week, and obviously love that too. So there are variations on anything, but the idea is, if these people are really important to you and you want them to be in your life on a more regular basis, I think this is the perfect time to have this conversation as we approach 2025, because these are conversations you can have with the people in your life and figure out what to do. My co-author and I, we, a couple of years ago made a pledge to get together once a quarter. And so it's been a huge blessing. And have we been perfect? No. But for the most part, we see each other every quarter. And it is fabulous. And it has really enhanced not only our work, but our friendship and, productivity and all kinds of fabulous things. Because it's really turns into a weekend of fun and really intense work. Which, some people don't believe go together, but we do. And so once a quarter might not sound like a lot, but I really feel like we are so much closer as a result. And it is 4 times a year. So that's not too shabby. So I challenge you to think about and have some conversations with folks in your life about how you can get together more frequently. Let me know what you think. Betsy A. Hayes BetsyAHayes.com or at Betsy Hayes on social. And please tune in next week for the next episode of Handled-ish, Productivity for the Imperfect. Until then, please take care and please be kind to yourself because you are doing way better than you think you are. Trust me.